Hey everyone, welcome to the fourth episode of the What the Poop podcast, hosted by me and Twisted Killer 94. Twisted Killer 94, what is up?
Yo, 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 yo.
He just showed me this thing about this lithium mine, largest found in the United States. I think largest in the world, the largest lithium mine in the
It says
world,
apparently.
apparently. I read about it a little bit when he sent it to me. Apparently, it's 20 to 40, I think. What is it? It's 2040 million megatons or something of lithium.
I got tons, dude. I've never heard of that word.
Uh,
Or actually,
Here it is.
I've
It's
never heard
on
it used in
Popular
my life.
Mechanics. Million metric tons, not megatons. A million metric tons. So 20 to 40 MT. So 20 to 40 million metric tons
Like a
is
lot?
yeah, is said to be contained within the sediments of this area. Now, as
A
part of this
thousand, it
volcano.
says 2,000 lbs for a metric ton.
Wow.
2,205 pounds.
So the entire mine is almost as heavy as your mom.
No, as heavy as yours.
So apparently, where the mine is, or it's not a mine yet, but this deposit, apparently where it is it's like on indigenous land, and of course it's very
Uh-oh.
controversial. And people get mad
Uh-oh.
over that sort of thing, but you got to remember every day you're living on stolen land. The same people that complain about stealing land are living on stolen land, right?
Yep.
You know,
Dude, does this mean a Lithian Minecraft update, dude?
maybe, I don't know, man.
Lithian Minecraft rules.
I feel like protesters are stupid. I feel like when you become a protester, you lose about 80% of your thinking power
Yeah, that's true.
because
Probably.
they do things that are stupid, like Britain's like anti-oil thing, like stop oil.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know.
that. The oil paintings.
Just stop oil. Like if you Google just stop oil and then you go to images, you'll actually see a bunch of clown images, right? So it's just stop oil. They want to stop a very valuable part of any economy. Without oil, where would any economy be right now? Because it's a very valuable resource. It's always in demand, and it's even getting even more in demand because prices are going up, not just because of inflation. Like what?
Doesn't Biden have something to do with that? Where he stopped the oil thing? There's like
Yes,
some oil
that's
thing that he
right.
stopped doing.
He stopped the
The trade?
construction.
Or tr-
He stopped the. He also stopped like construction of a pipeline.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
That
from Canada to the U.S. I don't remember what this pipeline was called.
and when
Uh,
don't stop oil like put paint on put like tomato sauce on the paints. Isn't like doesn't those paintings use a different type of oil? Like not the oil they're protesting? Like oil paints?
uh, they threw so they threw tomato soup on it. It said, why did they do it? To ensure that the government commits to ending all new licenses and consents for the exploration, development, and production of fossil fuels in the UK. So they want to end all that. So they
Oh
just,
yes, which let's throw tomato soup on an oil painting that was made years ago. Many years ago.
why they target a painting?
Yeah, what if that painter was also um against oil?
Van Gogh?
Yeah, what if he was against oil? Huh? How would they know?
I mean,
They just ruined a oil hater's painting.
really can't. You really can't know. Hmm. I think they just did it to. They got to do something big, right? So target $1 million paintings. Huh. Well, that's silly. Protesters are silly. Why are they silly? Because they do
They do
silly
silly
things.
things. Guys, that is a silly moment, guys. Oh, that is the wrong place to send that.
So, um, I'm gonna try to veer away from the stock market. Today, Oracle closed at 11% less than when it opened, which is pretty bad. But that's about it.
I sent you like 2 articles.
We'll take a look at these right now. All right. Kamala Harris was just hit with a devastating new poll. Okay, yeah, so it says Kamala Harris lined up to succeed Biden despite unpopularity. See, this is why vice presidents are vice presidents.
Yes.
42% of Americans felt that Harris's performance in a role made them think worse of the Biden administration, while only 18% believed it has a positive effect. That's great. But here's the question. Where's
Mhm.
the other 40%? What does the other 40% think? Mamma mia.
46% of Republicans, 41% of Democrats.
Wow. Yeah. 41% of Democrats viewed her positively. Yikes, dude. It's it's the Biden administration, and it's the changes they've made that were not asked for.
Nor good. Most not good.
Because you vote someone into office because of what they say they're going to
Promise?
do. What they say they're going to do, right? Do they promise? Sometimes. Can they keep those promises? No, because you can't actually make promises in a position like that. But you can say that shit for your campaign.
Yeah.
What you don't expect is all the other stuff they're going to do with your tax money that you pay.
Yippee!
Where's your tax money going? Oh, it's going to the United States. No, it's not. It's going to other
Ukraine?
countries. It's going to Ukraine. It's
Yeah.
going to wherever Biden wants to put his money.
I don't know why.
Oh, escaped Pennsylvania inmate is now armed with a rifle.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
The convicted murderer who escaped from jail in Pennsylvania nearly 2 weeks ago has continued to evade capture and is now armed. So if you don't know about this guy who escaped in Pennsylvania, so this guy climbs up the wall in the prison, and apparently there was a basketball game going on, so the guards were sort of distracted. So he climbs up the wall and he escapes and he gets out. Very impressive. But now he's got a gun. Okay, he killed people. Now he's got a gun. How'd he get the rifle? Good question.
You could have stole it or something, dude.
Yeah. Either way, now he's got a rifle. You know, he's loose, loosey goosey. And what's going to happen? You know, there's a big search for him. This is all over the news. And we're going to cover it here on the What the Poop podcast, where we look at things that make you say, what the poop?
What the boo?
What the poop? Hmm. He has a 22 caliber rifle. 22 caliber rifle. So this is this is a hunting rifle he's got. And has a scope and a flashlight mounted on it. And it has ammunition.
I don't think he's hunting for animals.
I think he's escaped prison and he's armed himself. Maybe he's not looking to kill someone else. Maybe he's looking to protect himself from getting
I
recaptured.
mean, didn't he kill 2 people?
Yeah, but there's usually a motive. It's very rare that murder is in crime of passion. There's always a reason. There's always a motive for killing someone. Like, okay, what does this guy do?
Fun.
You do it for fun? That's great.
Yep, dude.
I want to see his court record here. Huh. Okay. Oh my gosh. So he was involved in fights. He murdered a young friend over an unpaid debt. Uh, he's also wanted in his home country of Brazil for another murder. So this guy's oh, this guy's definitely dangerous.
Committing crimes.
He's definitely committing a lot of crimes, and he definitely doesn't want to get recaptured.
He ain't going down without a fight.
Nope. It says escaped Pennsylvania killer shot at by homeowner while stealing gun from garage. Or stealing the rifle. So he stole the rifle.
How do you just go up there and steal it? Was it not in a safe?
I guess they just kept it in the garage and somehow he knew that. But he got shot at. But now he's armed. We know he's armed because of this person. There's footage of it.
Did he get hit?
No, he didn't get hit.
Uh,
But he was shot at. Yikes. Wow, so that's crazy, man.
yep.
Oh, other news! They're removing the self-serve soda machines from McDonald's. This is sad for everyone. But when was
Not
the
really.
last time you actually used one?
Yeah, most people just go to the drive-thru.
Exactly.
That's why I be going. That's why I be going inside, dude. Because like the lines are not long.
But here's the thing. It says McDonald's is getting rid of one of its biggest perks. The fast food chain is eliminating its self-serve soda machines by 2032 at its
What?
US restaurants. US.
2032.
So like an Indian McDonald's or where I'm from, Canadian McDonald's, maybe there will still be self-serve soda machines or drink fountains.
Yeah.
but this is big news, and I wanted to know what it would do to McDonald's stock, right? So I went and looked, and it's up. McDonald's stock is up. It closed. Hold on, let me check it. MCD, Mickey D's. It closed up 0.34%, and there was some after hours trading, but really not too much. And yeah, trading day yesterday wasn't too interesting. Yesterday, today was today. Feels like yesterday for some reason.
Not really.
Huh. Man, what do you think about protesters, dude?
Some of them are pretty dumb. Most of them are dumb.
Let's look at protester arrest. All right, here we go.
Peaceful protest is usually never a peaceful one.
Yeah, so a thing protesters are doing now is they're being quote unquote peaceful by blocking traffic, which is a crime unless you've obtained a permit from the city to block off a section of the road, which you can do, right? But obviously, in these cases, they don't do that. They just go, they sit down with their signs and their stupid shirts and sit there blocking traffic, committing a crime,
Yippee! We
right?
love being bad people while protesting. In quote,
So,
bad people.
police show up, obviously, and there's not much they can do about it because they are just sitting there. Eventually, they'll have to take them out. But what they can do is divert traffic so that this isn't a problem.
I think they can just. I think they should just arrest them.
Well, yeah,
They
they
should have
do.
the ability to do that. Yeah,
So
but they should
this
just upright arrest
recently
them.
in Ottawa. When was this? August 28th. This is a freaking while ago, man. This is like 2 weeks ago. All right. Well, 11 people are facing 34 criminal charges. That is great. Put them behind
Yay.
bars because they're idiots. You can't do this. It's a crime. People don't understand what they're doing is a crime. They think, oh, it's peaceful. We can do, you know, what we want as long as we're not rioting in the streets. But the thing is, you're still committing a crime. Obtain a permit from the city. Obtain a permit from the city. Protest in a place you're legally allowed to protest or block the streets. Okay? There are
Yeah,
laws. There are laws that let you peacefully protest. But there's also laws against illegal gatherings.
really
And that's
getting their
exactly
message
what
out
it
there. They're
is.
just making everyone hate them.
That's right. You're like it's like the what is a non-controversial
Protest?
The George Floyd protests.
Those are pretty controversial.
These weren't protests. These were riots. You know why these were riots? Go to look up George Floyd protests and go to images. You know what you see? Okay,
Yeah, I don't think anything comes out of protesting. There'll
you
always be
see
people
all
who
these
abuse it.
people, all these people. But then there's these videos, or not just videos, these images, and there's fires. That's not peaceful anymore. That's arson.
I feel like at the start it could have been peaceful, but then people came in and like abuse it because like you just excuse it with I'm just protesting.
Yeah. And then there's also crowd mentality. There's the crowd mentality. And so yeah, the crowd mentality is that responsibility is if you're in a crowd, your responsibility is lessened. If everyone's doing the same thing, you feel like the responsibility is kind of diffused. It's diffused and spread out along people. but that's not true. Okay, the Capitol riots, like people are still to this day being prosecuted for entering the building illegally. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Now, you know who is good at handling protests? China. China is
Uh,
great. Here's the thing.
they'll be murdered later on.
But yeah, I saw this one video. It's like this slow motion video with this music of these protesters running from cops, right? And then in the description, or I think it was like the pinned comment, it was all these people you see in this video are either, they're in hiding, and you see the cops run past. They actually run past the cameraman, which is kind of strange. And I feel like they would like tackle the cameraman, but they didn't. The cameraman's invincible, right? So they didn't touch him.
Yeah.
Didn't
Just
touch him,
like
but
Scooby Toilet, dude. It's a camera from Scooby Toilet.
it's yeah. And apparently, they're all either arrested in hiding or they somehow fled the country, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at more protest arrests, or let's just look up arrest and let's go to news. No way.
What?
Las Vegas police officers report details Pawn Stars personalities DUI arrest. This is Richard Corey Harrison. Huh.
Politician? You said?
No, Richard Corey Harrison.
Oh.
He's like a one of the guys on Pawn Stars.
Oh, you said Pawn Stars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was uh, arrested on a DUI charge. And it says, yeah, she was arrested for
Uh,
DUI. They pulled him over for failing to maintain the lane. Uh, his eyes were bloodshot, watery, and droopy. Odor of alcohol. And he was booked for DUI. And this was posted a few
you
hours
drink
ago.
and drive. You drink and drive every night. You'll get better at it, dude.
Yes. Technically,
I'm not saying it's a
technically,
good thing to do, but I mean, you would probably get good at it.
if you do drink and drive every night, you'll probably be better at handling the car drunk.
Yes.
Because practice makes perfect. And if you do something for more, you get better at it. That's just the
Just
truth.
practice in a parking lot. Well, bam, you can just get away with drinking and driving.
Oh, dude, what's this? Police arrest 12-year-old girl in Sackville. Fucking funny name. Stabbing. So a 15-year-old was injured. A 12-year-old stabbed a 15-year-old during a physical altercation. Serious but non-life threatening injuries, thank goodness. Was taken to a hospital by ambulance. 12-year-old was arrested and then was released on conditions. And she will appear at a
Of
later court
course.
date. It's not said. Police investigation is underway. That's the end of the article. But tell me, how do you get stabbed by a 15-year-old? Come on, or 12-year-old.
Dude, it's a 12-year-old, dude. They be doing crazy things.
Dude, 12-year-olds today, dude, and like ages today,
You're
they're
gonna sneak
just
attack.
it's like it feels like generations are getting worse. It feels like it, but it's probably not because people
The
have probably been
parenting.
saying people have probably been saying that like for a very long time. But it feels like generations are getting worse,
It's the
and I don't
parenting.
think it's parenting. I think it's
I think it's
it's
parenting.
I think it's the influence of things like TikTok and the influence of all these different social medias that are so unbelievably accessible today, and it's rotting brains. I
Mm.
think it's crazy. Like today,
I'd say I had good parenting.
yeah, like today, I was in school and I heard about the grade nines, the freshmen had an assembly about
Hmm.
whatever, right? But it had to be canceled. This is the first time in our school's history that had to be canceled because you know what they were? They were being disrespectful little shits. What they were doing is when the people came up to start speaking, they just started clapping, all of them. I don't know how they coordinated that. It baffles me how they coordinated that. It was I heard in class it was hilarious. And whenever someone on stage would speak, they just started clapping, clapping, drowning out their speech. And so they kept doing that, and it had to be canceled. And I first I was like, "That's so disrespectful. Like, what's your problem?" But then I thought it was pretty funny.
I mean, how do you get trolled by children?
Obviously, uh, actually, kind of pisses me off. That's kind of annoying. Kids being dumbasses. It's infuriating. But
You don't really see the issue of it as a child. You're just like, oh, funny moment.
yeah, just like this is a chance to be funny. I don't know who orchestrated this. Someone had to orchestrate this, right? Like, how do you get the whole of like grade nines to like, or a bunch of them to just like have enough of them clapping for it to be
I
enough to
mean,
drown out?
normally when you hear clapping, you start clapping. Maybe something like that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, whenever they were speaking, they would clap. When they stopped speaking, they would stop clapping. From what I've heard. I wasn't there, so I don't know. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it was just a section of people doing that. Idiots, kids, like they're fresh out of a freaking different grade, right? That wasn't high school. Now they're in high school and they think they're the shit.
They're geniuses.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Anyway, uh, Chatham police arrest two, seize 6.1 million in illegal cannabis. So the Chatham Kent police seized approximately 6.1 million of cannabis Sunday during a conducted story on Blenheim. So a 40-year-old man and a 41-year-old man were both arrested for growing weed. It was against the law, and they were taken to police headquarters
Yeah.
and then
Right.
released with conditions and with an October 12th court date. $6.1 million worth of illegal cannabis. Okay.
Wow.
More than 9,000 plants with an approximate street value of 9 million seized
They thought they were playing GTA.
from their property. Okay. In early January 2021, another 8,580 pot plants worth an estimated 8.6 million seized a week later.
Mm.
So these guys
They're on that grind, dude.
Grow a lot of weed. Now, that's an unprecedented amount of weed. And they're probably going to go to jail for a very long, very, very, very long time.
Well,
And that's crazy.
how are they gonna explain to the IRS how are they making this money?
Well, it's in Canada. There's no IRS.
Oh, so you tell me I could just go to Canada and make a ton of money and they won't question me?
There's no IRS. The only thing about the IRS is they want to know where your money came from. They don't give a shit about anything else. They want to know where your money came from. They think your money came from, somewhere that it shouldn't have. They're just gonna audit you, and they're gonna take all that money that they think you got it illegitimately away. They're just gonna take it away. They're just gonna audit, and they got auditors, and just take it away.
So does that not happen in Canada?
Is there like an IRS Canada? What's like? It's a Canadian IRS. The CRA, the Canada
CRA.
Canada Revenue Agency.
Um,
So they just want to know where you got it from, right? If it's in your bank account, they want to know where you got it from. Now it's weed, right? It's probably not going to go into a bank account. It's probably going to stay in cash. Most likely, it'll all stay in cash, right? And these are all cash deals that they're going to sell.
yes.
Crazy. That's crazy, dude. That's just so much weed, man. See, what if that all went up in flames, dude? The whole town, dude, would be baked.
Yeah. Yeah.
The birds in the sky would be baked.
The birds in the sky are gonna be flying upside down.
Yeah, they're gonna be a lot higher than they usually would be.
Outer space.
So Guelph teen arrested after allegedly. This is not funny at all. Guelph teen arrested after allegedly whipping an elderly man with a belt.
Whoa. Why are
So
you
they.
laughing? Why were you laughing?
It's just such a weird headline. You don't see that every day. So they've arrested a 17-year-old boy who they say whipped a man in his 70s with a belt. According to police, they got in an argument near Willow and Dawson Roads just before 4 p.m. on Monday. The teen left the area but came back a short time later. He allegedly removed his belt and whipped the elderly man twice, causing minor injuries to the victim's arm.
Didn't you couldn't let it go, dude. He just had to do something about it. People just love committing crimes when they get angry.
Yeah, you gotta have you gotta have a self control because if you don't have self control,
You could have
you
just
get
been home. You could have just stayed home instead of coming back.
yeah, like you had to come back.
Unlike their dad.
No, dude, his dad beat him, and then he took it out on an old man. So I'm just looking at these protester arrests. I want to see more about arrests. I don't want to see just Canada. Dude. Give me like international, U.S. Okay, don't give me. Oh, here we go. The Pennsylvania fugitive. Why wasn't he deported? Because he's from Brazil, right?
Uh-huh.
And he had committed crimes in Brazil, and he fled to America. If you commit crimes in Brazil, obviously you cannot. If you commit crimes in a certain country, can't get into another country. They're not gonna. They're not going to accept your
He
immigration
somehow
request.
did.
But he somehow did. So how did he get here?
That's the real question.
He entered the United States unlawfully without being inspected or admitted by a U.S. immigration official, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Sometime after that, in April 2021, prosecutors said he had fatally stabbed his Brazilian girlfriend in front of her
Oh.
children in Pennsylvania. He was convicted of murder and
Oh,
sentenced in prison.
in front of the children.
Yeah, that's terrible, dude.
So did she end up passing?
Yeah,
Uh,
did she? Yeah, fatally stabbed. She died
dang.
in front of her children. That's terrible.
Yeah,
My prayers go out to the children. That's a terrible thing to witness. It's going to haunt you for the rest of your life, the rest of their lives. And
yeah, most likely.
yeah, so he's serving a life sentence. I'm pretty sure that carries a life sentence. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and then he escaped the prison on the 31st.
There's actually something wrong with your prison if you could just easily escape like that. I mean, to be honest, the guards were arrested, but it's like not a good excuse.
And so the question is, why wasn't he deported? Because most likely the U.S. didn't know. Because it says here there's more than 11 million undocumented immigrants. 11 million undocumented
Yeah,
immigrants that are not paying
yeah.
taxes in the country that they're living in.
But then, I mean, they aren't really going to prison though. Like they didn't do any background checks on them or anything, or whatever.
I, I don't know. Yeah, so the primary way ICE comes into contact with undocumented immigrants is if they've committed crimes. And this guy murdered his girlfriend.
Yep.
He was wanted in Brazil for murder. So it says here, even if Brazil had issued an Interpol notice calling for his arrest, the United States would have no reason to believe he was living in the United States. Right? No, he fled. Pretty much nobody knew about it. Only after
Yeah.
his arrest, in connection with the murder of his girlfriend in April 2021, did ICE become aware that he was in the country.
Right.
And so, what do? Well, a murder was committed in the U.S. She was sentenced in the U.S. But why wasn't he deported? I think because the way the system works is if you commit a crime in a country, you're sentenced and put in prison in that country. Now, the country that you're from will know about this, and they can decide whether or not to take you back. Because they can, countries have certain countries can tell certain countries that's our prisoner, give it to us.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you have to
Russia
change.
needed a freaking Russia needed a trade.
Yeah, sometimes you have to trade. If
We should have just left that basketball player there.
dude, she was arrested because she had what I think was a
It
vape
was
cartridge.
marijuana.
It was marijuana.
Yeah, just do
Why?
your research before you go to a country for drugs.
Why was what's her name?
I
Uh,
don't know.
WNBA player in Russia, Griner.
That reminds me of a certain app.
She earns 1 million per season.
How was she even in Russia in the first place?
I don't know. Oh,
They
it
just want to
says
go to vacation or something. I don't know.
why was Griner in Russia? According to Griner, Brittany Griner plays overseas because the WNBA's pay. Griner reportedly earns 1 million per season to play for the UMMC. Uh, Ekaterinburg. Fucking stupid fucking name. Fucking foreign names. Brittany Griner would wholeheartedly love not to go overseas. Hmm. So why did she go to Russia? Yeah, so she was in possession of vaping cartridges containing hashish oil,
Uh,
which is in fact marijuana,
so
which
we
is an
were
illegal
both
substance in
correct.
Russia. So she was arrested in Russia and charged and sentenced in Russia. And there she was in Russia. And what did they do? They got her back from Russia because you can do a trade. Who did they trade? I think it was some violent criminal.
Oh, dude, it was like the most violent gun
It
deal,
was
I'm
an
pretty
arms
sure.
dealer. Yeah. They traded an
Uh,
arms dealer for
Real question,
a
why did Russia want them? I don't wonder why. What's it
uh,
before they went to Ukraine? I don't really remember.
let's look at US prisoners in other countries. Let's see. Oh, wow. There's actually a whole list. List of American people imprisoned abroad. So these are people who were released. But I want to focus on people who are still in detention. Some of these people, everyone in China is still in detention. Everyone in Iran is still in detention.
Dude, you ran?
Iran? Yeah, I did. Ugh. Wow. So this guy, Paul Overby, is imprisoned in Pakistan. On May 8th, 2018, no, let's start where he was detained. He was detained 17th of May, 2014. Why was he detained? There's no reason.
2014.
There's no reason. But he's still there, supposedly. He's 71. He's been missing for 9 years, 3 months, and 25 days. He could be dead.
Wow.
It says he disappeared mysteriously in Waziristan. On May 8th, 2018, the FBI offered a 1 million reward for information leading to his rescue. In addition, the Rewards for Justice program offered a 5 million reward for information
Wow.
leading to his location. That's a
Like, it could have
lot of
been
money.
any, like, could it have been any information? You just got $5 million?
Yeah, so if you offered information that led to his location, you'd be paid $5 million. And for the FBI, if you offered information to the FBI that led to his rescue, he would be offered $1 million. Now that's quite nice. But
I'm
unfortunately,
not
he's
surprised.
disappeared, and for all we know, he may be dead.
I mean,
You,
I feel like,
he was kidnapped
I
for the
feel like,
he's kidnapped by the Taliban. However, on February 28th, 2017, the Taliban released a statement denying that they had kidnapped Overby. So people call for his release. Reporters Without Borders, silly name. So apparently, he's still in captivity. Let's just hope he's not dead, or maybe he would hope he's dead because they're probably torturing him. It is
something like that.
Pakistan.
Yeah, you gotta expect the worst there.
Yeah. Paul Whelan. You know Paul Whelan?
No.
So Paul Whelan is a Canadian-born former United States Marine with British, Irish, and Canadian citizenship. He was arrested in Russia on December 28th, 2018, and accused of spying. He received a 16.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this dude. I
Mm-hmm.
thought he was American.
He received. Well, he's pretty American. He served in the American military.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Canadian government. I mean, military, whatever,
No,
Marines.
he served. He served in the United States, but he's born Canadian. born in Ottawa, the capital of Canada, and his British parents with Irish heritage. So he has a bunch of citizenships. That's great. But unfortunately, he's in prison in Russia, currently serving 16 years in prison. He's been there for 4 years, 8 months, and 15 days, and the United States doesn't really care about him. They're not really
Yeah,
doing
they're looking
anything
at basketball player though.
to get him back. However, oh, a WNBA player. So important.
Woman? Oh my goodness, dude, we have to save this woman.
He was charged on espionage, but did he really commit espionage?
Maybe there's like not a lot of people knew about him, and the U.S. wants to be painted in a good look. So they rescued someone who's a little bit famous. It's a basketball player. No one watches that. Women's basketball. Not to be sexist. It's not sexist, guys.
Yeah. He was formally charged on January 3rd, 2019, according to Russian news agency Rosbolt.
Hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce that. ROSBALT. BLT, LGBTQ plus ABC.
Whoa, dude.
So it says as of March 2019, he shared a cell with a prisoner who spoke no English. That sucks.
Yeah.
Being held in a prison and no one speaks English. No one speaks your language.
You have like no like human interactions, basically, kind of. I mean, you
Yeah,
do, but it's like
basically.
you don't understand them.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. The Citgo 6. So the Citgo 6 are people who. Let me take a look at this. Citgo 6 are. Citgo is a subsidiary owned by the state oil company. It's just a Venezuelan oil company. They were. Okay, so they were arrested on November 21st, six guys on 2017 and accused of signing an agreement that was unfavorable for the Venezuelan subsidiary. So I don't know if that's a
Um,
crime. It's freaking Venezuela, dude. Their currency is falling. I could probably buy a mansion there for about three
Yippee!
US
Five
dollars.
dollars. Not three.
Three and a pack of cigarettes.
Yay, yippee! I love cigarettes.
These guys were released on a prisoner exchange. So yeah, you got to do prisoner exchanges. There's still people in detention. There's people in the UAE. There's people in Syria.
Cereal.
Syria. Cereal. Oh, well, and then there's
Yep.
this guy in Africa. He's kidnapped for monetary ransom. Yeah, I mean, really?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a list, most of, or some of, a list of people, American people imprisoned
Arrests
abroad.
or people in quote unquote captive in other countries
Yeah.
or something like that.
People in jail.
Imprisoned.
American people in jail. Some are American. Well, I mean, supposedly most are American. Like this guy's a Salvadorian American.
Right.
This guy, James Vincent Wilgus, was arrested for indecent exposure.
Yay.
Yay. That's crazy.
Yep.
Let's take a look at news. How do we find good news? It's very simple. You actually have to Google news and you find
Whoa,
news.
really? Is that really how you do that?
Yeah,
Dude, I didn't know that.
crazy.
Dang, I never knew that.
Breaking news. That is a news article with my school on the front cover of it. That's great. Let's take a look at it.
Okay.
Oh, it's this story. So, this is a pretty good story. So
You shouldn't have
th-
said it was your school.
so what, dude? This 14-year-old this 14-year-old boy. This is a terrible thing that happened. It was working at this camp, right?
Yeah.
This kind of Toronto summer camp. He
Yeah.
sexually assaulted
Oh,
two, I think 6-year-old girls. And,
6.
yeah,
How old was he? Oh, wasn't he like 14?
yeah, and it's
Oh,
believed that he's done it many more times than that.
uh,
That's just the ones that have been confirmed. And
that's
so, mostly how I know about this is a guy who was in my law class,
right. Wow.
worked at this camp,
Uh,
and sometimes he saw this guy, but he didn't see him do it. You know, he said he was always kind of misbehaving, not really following the rules. You know, there's always rules that everyone has to follow at a camp. He was kind of breaking them a little bit. This is what he said. He's kind of a misfit, but then he was also being a fucking sicko.
yeah. Doing some weird things I could never imagine myself doing. Like ever.
Yeah, so allegedly, repeatedly sexually assaulted two 6-year-old girls. That's just horrible.
Yeah.
Ugh. Ugh. We're gonna move on. That's horrible to think about. Yes, Toronto man charged after a 30-minute racist, misogynistic tirade at a black female TTC bus driver.
Ooh.
She was forced to drive her own bus to a station, says the head of TTC Workers Union, who was deeply troubled that neither the TTC nor police came to help. So, a Toronto man has been arrested in connection with a disturbing half-hour-long video shared online of a passenger harassing a TTC bus driver last week. For the duration of the video, taken September 6th at about 10:45 a.m. near Bathurst Street and Drury Avenue, the man assailed the black female bus driver with a racist, misogynistic tirade. Neither police nor TTC security came to her assistance.
Wow. Mm.
So, two 911 calls were made on that morning in the span of 40 minutes apart, after a man ran across an intersection and began punching the bus while yelling and swearing for the driver to open the doors. The driver did not open the doors for the man, but when some of the passengers got off, the man entered the bus and continued his aggressive behavior. When the man finally had left the scene, a third call was made to the police to cancel the request. There were no units available to attend, police said. No units!
It's pretty interesting to know units.
Anyway, but he's been charged with mischief, intimidation, and causing a disturbance. And that's that's something bad to do to people. You really cannot just go and be racist to people because it's not cool.
Very nice.
Let's take a look at. Come on, give me some more news, baby. Give me some more breaking news, baby. You got anything, twisted chiller?
No, not really.
You're chilling. Uh, love to take a look at Wall Street Journal. Why more baby boomers are sliding to homelessness? Who cares? Yeah, so what's happening in Libya right now is actually really bad. Libya floods.
Oh, flooding.
Flooding in Libya. 10,000 people are missing. And more than 5,000 people presumed dead. 2,000
That's
people
a
confirmed
lot, dude.
dead.
That's sad.
At least 2,300 people have been killed, according to the ambulance authority in Derna, the worst affected city. So this is terrible. This is actually terrible. 10,000 were missing. 10,000 missing. Okay, that's a lot of people. That's a huge death toll. Like, this is terrible. This is stuff that happens so often, and people need to hear about it because it's bad. And you got to think how good you have it. Okay.
Yeah, never. Or well, I have experienced a flood, kind of, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. What happened? Tell me what happened.
Oh, this was like a few days after I was born, and the house like there was like a hurricane, the house flooded
Hmm.
in like Louisiana.
So yeah, apparently the water is orange.
Ew, yucky.
Yeah. So this is
I would not want
orange.
to be in that water.
Yeah, it's like full of dirt and things and
There's like so much like 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 bugs. Parasites is a big one.
yeah, yeah. Like if you got a cut, if you got an open cut, you enter that water,
Oh,
you're gonna get pretty much every known disease to man, most likely.
yeah,
Wow, dude, looking at this damage, catastrophic.
yeah. That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. So, are there any charities that you can donate to? Let's find out.
I'd be surprised if there wasn't.
Any charities? Islamic Relief, UNICEF. Morocco earthquake and Libya flood. So are they 2,900 dead? More than 2,900 dead. Which is it's
Confirmed.
weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's how to avoid paying taxes in the United States. So there's things you can do. You can fail to report your income. If you don't report your income, a lot of incomes higher, and the higher it gets, the more taxed your income will be. So by not reporting your income, your higher income, you can avoid those tax things. You can also claim excessive deductions, and it's done by inflating the value of your charitable donations. So if you make donations to charity, right, and stuff,
Yeah.
it's I don't think it's taxed,
Wow.
right? So you could just write that off, right? Uh,
Could you like donate to yourself or start a
sure,
GoFundMe?
sure. One of the big ones, moving taxable assets offshore. So where somewhere offshore, like out wherever there
How
are.
do you spend that money?
How do you spend what
Like, do you
money?
take it out in like small amounts in the offshore accounts?
I'm not exactly sure how you move money to offshore accounts, but you can move them to an offshore bank, um,
Yeah, we're not criminal masterminds.
and it'll be inaccessible to the tax authorities, right? And so
Yeah.
this is all tax evasion. You can use shell companies. It's done by creating a dummy corporation that doesn't exist, usually offshore or in tax havens, because those do exist, to funnel income or profits in a manner that distorts actual earnings, right? So you make a fake company, you say, you have money going in and out of there, and it can be taxed differently, and it distorts it, right? So you end up paying less. Using company assets for personal use, taking physical assets, property, vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And just using it for non-work purposes. So using a government taxes your vehicle. If you use a work vehicle that's provided to you, like you work in towing or something, you just drive it around to the coffee shop, it can't be taxed.
Sorry, Mr. Taxman.
But here's some legal ways to not pay taxes. Actually, donating to charity. By donating to a registered charity, you can receive a tax receipt, which you can use to reduce your taxable income. Because you've donated to charity. You're
Yippee!
a good guy. You're a good guy. Here's a receipt to reduce your tax on your income. So that's what you can do. But there's a lot of steps to do that, right? You have
You can
to
go to different countries as
you have
well. You can do
yeah,
that, too.
yeah, you have to enroll in high deductible health insurance plan, HDHP, to be eligible for an HSA. There are contribution limits, and you'll also need to designate a beneficiary for your HSA, which is someone who takes the money after you die, after you perish. When you open the account, you have to do this safety measure.
Right. Just fake your death, dude.
Oh no, dude, that's a whole different thing. Never mind, that's not a charity thing. That's an HSA thing, which is a health savings account. A health savings account is an account it's tax advantaged because it's used for paying for medical expenses. Donating to charity, just make sure you're donating to a registered charity. You can verify charity's registration via the website of your country's tax authority, like the IRS. Keep track of all your donations so you can present your receipts upon request. Because keep receipts, because you can get tax deductions. And also, child tax credit. Kids under the age of 17 are worth up to $2,000 per child, which can be claimed yearly when filing tax returns. Obviously, there's conditions for this. I'm not going to go through
What about families of 16 children?
it. Well, yeah, they qualify for huge tax benefits. So, is it possible to legally pay no taxes? Yes,
Dude, you know how much money you'd get if you got 2,000 a year per child?
that's
If
right,
you had
but you
60 children, you'd make like 32K.
that's right, but you do end up spending a lot of money on those children.
Yeah.
16 kids? Oh, that's a lot of work. That's so much work.
I mean, I feel like you get a good amount of grocery for like $1,000.
Yeah. It's possible to pay no taxes. Countries like Antigua and Barbuda encourage business owners and freelancers to move their corporations into the country. If the corporation is in the country, it's not applicable to U.S. tax, right? In return, taxes on income from that is excluded.
Right.
Contributing to retirement accounts. There are certain accounts you can open up that are tax advantaged, meaning you'll pay less on them. You'll pay less or even none at all. There's just some ways to avoid paying your taxes. But really,
No more taxes.
in the U.S. there's no not paying your taxes. You can only reduce it by an amount legally. Don't commit crimes. It's bad. It's stupid. All we talk about is
Commit,
people committing crimes and how they're idiots.
commit crime, you do the time.
That's right. But that's all the time we have today for this What the Poop podcast episode 4 with me and Twisted Killer. Eat Noodles and Twisted Killer 94. And this has been
Yep.
What the Poop.
What the poop?